My parents, like for most people, were the first adults in my life. And because they were the adults, they made the rules. So they set bedtime, they made me eat the fruits I thought were gross, they made me go to the doctor and the dentist regularly because they were the adults and those were their rules. When I was in my late 20s, I moved to Baltimore, and as I was settling in, I was on the phone with my dad, and he was asking me a bunch of dad questions about the move. So he was like, "Did you remember to get renter's insurance?" "Yes, Dad." "Did you register your car yet?" "Yes, Dad." "Did you find a new doctor and a new dentist?" Oh, crap. The dentist. I hadn't been to the dentist in a while. It had been 2, maybe 3. Oh my God, it had been 5 years since I was last at the dentist? The last time I was at the dentist, it was just a routine cleaning, but the part I'll never forget is when they pull out this long metal tool and start prodding at your gums and calling out numbers in sets of 3. 1, 2, 1. 3, 2, 2. And I was confused, so I was like, are some of these numbers good and are other numbers bad? She was like, no, not necessarily, but we are looking for numbers between 1 and 3. Okay, that means there are bad numbers. Sounds like anything bigger than 3. And now I'm paying attention, and I realize I hear a couple 4s. I heard a 5. And I'm panicking, like, what is the scale of this? Is it out of 100? Or is it out of 5? After what felt like forever, the dentist came in and she sat down and she was like, okay, you've got some pretty significant plaque buildup. We're gonna have to do a major deep cleaning and you really have to take better care of your teeth. I immediately felt so ashamed. That overhead light felt bright and hot like I was in an interrogation room. In actuality, there was probably just one hygienist standing there minding her own business. But the way I remember it now, there were 10 beautiful, put-together women, all standing there looking at me like I was some kind of monster. I imagine them going home to their beautiful spouses and talking to them at the dinner table and being like, honey, you will never believe the patient we saw today. She had such deep gum pockets. She had 5s. But honestly, until that point, I had thought my teeth were fine. Like, dental hygiene is so basic, and I know the rules. You're supposed to brush your teeth twice a day, and I do that. And you're supposed to use mouthwash, and I do. And you're supposed to floss, and I definitely floss. Okay, I'm lying. I do not floss. Does anybody actually floss? I ended up going back for a follow-up appointment where they did this deep cleaning, and after I left that appointment, my dentist was basically pleading with me, and she was like, okay, do not ruin all the hard work we just did. Please, for the love of God, just start flossing. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna turn it all around, I'm gonna be better, I'm gonna get my shit together. I'm gonna floss every single day. I imagined coming back to my next appointment and all of those women would be there, but this time, they'd be high-fiving me. I imagined my dentist crying tears of joy when she saw me next. I didn't want to jump the gun, but I was probably going to get nominated for some type of dental trophy. And for the next few weeks, I did. I flossed every single day. And you want to know something about flossing? It sucks. You get this long, disheveled piece of string that gets all gross and covered in pieces of food. Your gums get bloody and inflamed. The string gets so tightly wrapped around your fingers that you have no blood circulation by the end. And you want to know what the worst part about flossing is? When you're done, your teeth look exactly the same. They're not whiter, they're not visibly cleaner. You put in all of that work and you have nothing to show for it. I hated flossing so much, so every time I had to do it, I would come up with a million reasons to skip. And because I was an adult now, I could make up my own rules. So I'd be like, oh, you know what, I'm late for work, I don't have to floss. Or I'd be like, it's Friday and it's better to start flossing on Mondays. Or sometimes I would just run my tongue along the surface of my teeth and be like, no, they feel fine, I don't have to floss today. And so because I wasn't flossing, I definitely didn't want to make a new appointment to go back to the dentist. I wasn't avoiding going back to the dentist because of a fear of the gum prodding tool or anything. I was avoiding the dentist for a fear of something much worse, the judgment of other people. And so that's how 5 whole years pass, and I'm sitting in my apartment in Baltimore, and I'm on the phone with my dad, and I'm being sent into a spiral of panic. So when he asked me, did you find a new dentist? I did what any good daughter would do in that situation. I lied. And I was like, yeah, Dad, of course I have a dentist. And then I hung up the phone and I frantically found a new dentist and I made an appointment. Because yes, I was afraid of the judgment of whoever would be at this new dentist office, but I am definitely more afraid of the judgment of my dad. So the day of the new appointment, I tentatively, nervously walk in. And I knew what to expect. The visible disapproval, the palpable judgment, those bright interrogation lights. But I walk in, and this dentist office looked like you took a regular dentist and applied a beautiful Instagram filter to it. Everything was shiny and new. Everyone was warm and welcoming. The hygienist greeted me at the door and said, "Would you like anything off the menu?" They had a menu. You could get pillows and blankets. You could get a massage pad for your chair. You could get chapstick if your lips were dry. And the best part, they had overhead TVs and headphones so you could watch whatever you wanted on Netflix. Was this heaven? I have expected 4 shirtless men to carry me back to the chair on a pedestal while feeding me grapes. So I started to feel at ease, and I was like, okay, maybe things will be okay here. Like, okay, fine. My gum pockets probably haven't gotten better, but they couldn't have gotten worse. And like, okay, worst case, maybe I have a cavity. But like, I've never had a cavity before, so it'll be fine. So I sit in the chair, the dentist does the cleaning, she does the gum prodding thing. I'm admittedly not paying attention at all because I am fully immersed in an episode of The Great British Bake Off. And then she comes in, she looks at my x-ray, she looks at my chart, and she says very matter-of-factly, okay, so it looks like you have 11 cavities. 11 cavities. I had 11 cavities. I had more cavities than there are continents on this earth. I had more cavities than J-Lo has had fiancés. I had more cavities than Donald Trump has had indictments for now. Guys, we only have 32 teeth. That means almost 1/3 of my mouth was cavity. So, it turns out that when you are an adult, you do get to make up your own rules. But you also have to live with the consequences of those rules. I had to go back weekly for months to get those cavities filled. I spent thousands of dollars. All I wanted was to be a normal dental patient who wouldn't get judged, and now I'm probably actually someone that those hygienists talk about at their dinner tables. So, I am proud to say that I now do go to the dentist regularly. I get my x-rays done, I pay for extra fluoride sometimes, and I'm happy to report that I have not had another cavity. But I'm still really not flossing. Just please, 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 don't tell my dad.
And flies like a boss, flies like a boss, flies like a boss, clean it up. And flies like a boss.